What is up, guys? We are coming to you, Richmond Rillaboom fans, with our playoff team builder. We are in the playoffs, baby. If you haven't been following along with this season, let's check out here. You can see on the screen here, we did finish the season 8-2, or excuse me, 6-2. Finishing with the #1 seed in the regular season. With the Cherums right behind us, they were just one differential point behind us. And our Iron Boulder did finish the season as the #1 survivor, and we were #2 in the MVP race for most kills with 11 kills, 2 deaths from Iron Boulder. So Iron Boulder definitely our MVP. Really met, if not exceeded, expectations of how good this thing I thought it was going to be. And it could have been league MVP, I think, if we hadn't had that one forfeit win where we didn't really get to play the match. I think we probably could have made it out of there with at least one more kill to put us at the top of the MVP race, but that's okay because we were in the #1 spot, and that's what really matters. So let's get into our team builder for this matchup. We are facing the Flamigo Friends, the #8 seed, and they have a very hyper offensive team. You will see at the bottom of your screen there, in that bottom right hand corner, they have a team consisting of, just pulling it up so I can see it. Yeah, this team is very hyper offensive. It's got Iron Bundle, Excadrill, Enamorus, Flygon as his Terra Captain, Terra Ground, Electric, or Steel, which is definitely a dangerous Terra Captain. If you watch any other YouTubers, you may have seen MV this season putting in a lot of work with Terra Flygon, so got to watch out for that. Terra Electric could be good for Manaphy. Terra Steel is pretty good against a lot of the rest of my team. So yeah, Flygon's dangerous. Skeledirge, always dangerous. Unaware is a really good ability. Cinccino, again, kind of a threat. It's got that loaded dice now, and it can use the setup move Tidy Up, which removes hazards and screens, and also sets up plus speed, plus attack. So that thing's pretty scary. Toxicroak, which I think makes a lot of sense here because of its dry skin ability being immune to water and actually healing up on water moves. And it is his other Terra Captain, Terra Poison, Dark, and Steel. I'm expecting a Terra Dark, so I'm thinking one of his potential answers for my Iron Boulder getting out of control could be like a Terra Dark, Sucker Punch, Toxicroak. So we are keeping that in mind this week. Moltres Galar, that flying and dark type Moltres. Very strong, very bulky on the especially defensive side. And he's got Klefki, which I probably expect to see, and the Cresselia, which may or may not come. So yeah, things I'm expecting to see, probably most likely, definitely Iron Boulder. Iron Bundle looks really good against me. Excadrill makes a lot of sense as his best rock switch in, and also potential counter. But it's also just good against things like Sylveon, whatnot. Enamorus, I think, makes sense because I do have the Hydreigon. Flygon definitely makes sense, especially he might want to run a first impression Flygon again for my Iron Boulder. That's another one of his really good potential offensive checks for that thing. I do think Toxicroak is coming. Like I said, probably that Terra Dark set. Skeledirge could make sense. I don't think Skeledirge has the best matchup against me, but I don't really have great switch-ins for it, to be honest. So it could make sense. And yeah, Klefki I think would be another, like, one of his best switch ins to Iron Boulder, and like screens Klefki or like Thunder Wave just makes a lot of sense. So let's get into what we are bringing. First Pokemon, uh, as always, we got to bring our team MVP, Iron Boulder. He's got a very, very offensive team, like I said, so there's really not much that wants to switch into Iron Boulder. Um, we do have substitute, because I'm thinking, because I don't have great like defensive checks to Iron Bundle, I am bringing this booster energy speed Boulder to be able to outspeed the bundle. And you know this is basically like my best way of checking that thing is to like revenge it, essentially. And my hope is that I can just get up a substitute against bundle. It's a little bit risky clicking that instead of a rock move, but especially if he has like a decent rock switch in left, like Cresselia, Klefki, or Excadrill or Flygon. I think it makes a lot of sense to click sub because it protects me from Prankster T-Waves, it protects me from First Impression, um, and it prevents Cresselia trying to status me as well. So then if I am in on like a Klefki or a Cresselia, I can click Swords Dance the next turn. And then, yeah, just really start poking holes, or I may not even need a Swords Dance. So because he is so hyper offensive, and those are the things that are the best boulder checks, I wanted to have something to break those checks, and to wear them down immediately. So I'm pretty sure I'm going to lead with this Choice Specs Modest Sylveon with Hyper Voice, and just be clicking Hyper Voice turn one. I think his likely leads are either going to be like Bundle or Flygon, um, potentially Excadrill. But if he leads Excadrill against my Sylveon, like, I doubt he's going to click Iron Head. He might either want to like Swords Dance or um, just set up Rocks turn one, because Excadrill is one of his, I think, his only rocker. So um, I don't think he would expect me to stay in and just click a Choice Specs Hyper Voice. So that's what I'm going to do. Also, it's my lead, because if he did lead Iron Bundle, like, and I led anything else, then he would just immediately do a lot of damage to me. And this is like one of my only things that can like live a hit from that and kill it back. So yeah, I would expect him to probably click Flip Turn if he does lead Iron Bundle, and then just again like take huge damage on one of his potential boulder checks. So that is really the idea behind that. Like, if I could like chunk Klefki for like half of its health turn one, when it tries to switch into this, and then potentially like kill it the next turn, or um, basically just removing one of his uh, things that can actually try to deal with boulder right away. So that's the idea behind this. Then we've got Duraludon, just kind of a utility set. This is the best way for me to deal with Cinccino. I can switch into pretty much anything Cinccino wants to do very easily, with that Eviolite, and I can also Terra Flying to, because he does have two really strong Earthquake Mons, and Flygon and Excadrill. Both of those could also very feasibly be like choiced sets. So that's my thought process behind being Terra Flying, to be able to like have another flying immunity that's not Hydreigon, that's more defensive. And then I just pretty much wall both of those things, unless Flygon would be Terra Electric, which is possible. But I don't think Flygon really wants to take a body press. Getting Rocks up is good, and Dragon Tail is good for like phasing things out that might be like setting up on me. It's good for if I do have rocks up, like, phasing out things that might want to come in and hit this thing hard, like a bundle, or potentially a Skeledirge switching in on body press, things like that, or like a Cresselia coming in and wanting to set up. Um, and Dark Pulse, yeah, I think is there for the Skeledirge and the Cresselia once again. Um, and then, so that's the Duraludon set. Really just something that can take hits, that can maybe catch them off guard with the Terra Flying, and potentially remove one of those scary Earthquake Mons. That would be great. Speaking of scary Earthquake Mons, we're bringing Air Balloon Prankster Grafaiai. This is actually my first time bringing Grafaiai to a match. It's making its first appearance in the playoffs, and it actually looks really good here. So Air Balloon with Prankster Encore is super useful, especially with Prankster Parting Shot as well. He does. I don't think he'll be bringing Moltres, so I being able to like Prankster Parting Shot on his entire team when he's got a very like offensive team, and I don't have a lot of great ways to switch into stuff. One way to help me do that is by just weakening things with Parting Shot. Also, potentially in the right situation, can help me set up some of my setup guys like Boulder or Manaphy. It could potentially help me get another hit off with Sylveon. But yeah, the idea is like for him to not see the Air Balloon coming. If he locks himself into Earthquake, or even if he's not choiced and he's thinking like Earthquake is pretty free with Flagon or Excadrill, I switch in Grafaiai and then can Encore them into Earthquake if they're not choiced. And kind of go from there. Then it's, they're locked in, they can't hit me, and I either get a free knockoff on something else that wants to come in, or a free Super Fang, or I get a Parting Shot and just get momentum. So this thing is like really useful. I really like this set here. And then we've got Substitute Calm Mind Psychic Scald Manaphy with about full HP, a little bit of special attack, and enough speed to outspeed things like Excadrill. Outspeed, I think I'm outspeeding the Moltres. But yeah, Psychic, hopefully to be able to catch the Toxicroak if he wants to bring in Toxicroak and thinks that, like, I don't have coverage for that thing. I could hopefully just, like, surprise it with a Psychic and just destroy that. That way I don't have to worry about the Terra Dark like Sucker Punch against Boulder. I would have to. I basically have to catch him on a switch in with the Psychic potentially, so that might be tricky to do. But I do have Substitute in case he wants to like preserve the Terra. And Substitute's really there because I just don't want to get like Prankster T-Waves by Klefki. And I want to be able to like potentially take at least one hit from Bundle, so like being behind a Substitute is helpful for that. Another one of his potential like switch-ins to Manaphy is definitely Bundle. Like if he wants to bring that hard switch that in and try to like Encore me into a Tail Glow or into a Substitute. The potential of Encore is why I'm bringing Mental Herb, because I would like to bring it. I would like to click Substitute on Manaphy, like if I'm in against a Skeledirge or if I'm in against a Excadrill. I think clicking Sub is a good idea, because then I can. And also, like, if he wants to bring in Cresselia, like being behind a Substitute is good, because then I can start Calm Minding and just pressuring that thing. So if he sees me starting to Calm Mind and he's like, oh, I'm going to go into Iron Bundle and Encore, he won't be able to do that, and then I can potentially like take it out with a psychic or two, or if I'm already boosted, being able to get some boosts up against like Klefki or Cress, then I might just be able to take out the Iron Bundle right there, which would be great. So yeah, kind of a funky set, and it's kind of like there's a lot of different scenarios of how like Manaphy could play out this time. But you know, if he doesn't bring certain things, this Manaphy could be really good. Got to worry about a little bit about Chinchino with like Bullet Seed being able to break through my sub and do a lot of damage. But the good thing is we do have so I might be more reluctant to click Substitute if I see a Chinchino, but we do have a good, a really good switch into Chinchino in our Duraludon, so I don't have to worry too much about it. Then we have Hydreigon. This is a weird Hydreigon set. It's actually Dragon Dance with Throat Chop, Stone Edge, Flamethrower. So I figure Dragon Dance could definitely catch him off guard with our Hydreigon. It's another potential switch into Earthquake again. I could get this thing going if I could Encore something into, like if I could Encore Flygon or Excadrill into a ground move, then I can get in Hydreigon and start Dragon Dancing up. I also could just like bring it in to revenge something like Skeledirge or like a Excadrill, you know. And if he wants to switch out, you know, my hope is that I can just Dragon Dance up. If he switches into an Enamorus and it's not Choice Scarf, then I should be able to Oko the Enamorus with a Stone Edge. Gotta hit him. But also if I see that he's like locked into a Hydro Pump or something, like maybe he's Choice Scarf or Choice Specs bundle and he's locked, I'm able to lock him into a water move, then that's another potential opportunity to set up a Dragon Dance with this thing. But yeah, basically the hope is to just kind of surprise him or even like bluff a Scarf on like a Flygon or something like that, and Dragon Dance. And you know, if he brings in Klefki and sees me like Dragon Dance, he might want to like set up a Reflect right away, and that's why I have Flamethrower over like Earthquake, because he could also have Magnet Rise. So yeah, Flamethrower if he clicks Protect, that does a lot to Klefki, and I also anticipate Klefki to be fully Fizz Def because of Boulder. So that's the team. Kind of we're kind of going a little bit hyper offense because we're facing a very hyper offensive team. But yeah, we're just gonna do our best. I think the lead Specs Sylveon could catch him off guard. I feel like that's a pretty good plan. Hopefully it goes according to plan, and we can end up in the semifinals next week. So playing the match pretty soon. We'll see how it goes. Make sure you tune in for the live battle coming soon. All right, if you guys like this channel, make sure you like and subscribe. It really does help our channel grow. And we'll see you guys next time. Peace.